here. I just going to talk to you today about shading and drawing. And we're going to start by drawing an alien that we want to make for our sculpture. So the first thing that you need to do is get out a piece of paper and a pencil. I prefer wooden pencils. I'm not a big fan of mechanical pencils when it comes to drawing. So get out a wooden pencil and a piece of paper. And then what you're going to start doing is drawing out what you want your alien to look like. This doesn't have to be a spectacular drawing by any means, but just start thinking about what you want the head to look like. What do you want the overall shape of the alien to look like? What do you want its mouth to look like? Does it have ears? Is it a boy alien or is it a girl alien? How can you tell the difference? Is it kind of a monster picture, or what is it? What does it look like? How many arms does it have? How many legs does it have? That type of thing. What does its stomach look like? So I'm just basically starting to draw a rough draft of what I want my alien to look like. And this drawing should include different things like how it's going to be positioned, what does his eyes look like, all those little details that we kind of want to get across in our sculpture. And when we're doing this, the idea is just to kind of get down what your ideas are. Before you sculpt, you usually have some sort of an idea in our heads, and then this is a way of kind of getting off what's on our minds onto the paper. That makes it a lot easier to sculpt it later. So I'm just going to keep on drawing and having the ideas of what I want my alien to look like. And so I'm going to keep doing that. And while I finish that, I'm going to show you what it means to do some different types of shading. So I'm going to keep doing that. So right here you're looking at two different types of shading. One is called sudden edge and one is called gradual shading. So when you're looking at the square or the cube, one of the things that you're seeing is there's different edges, and the shading on those edges stops abruptly. We have a very crisp edge. Whereas the ball is it's not sudden, it's changing slowly. It's more gradually changing. And that is the difference between these two objects. You have a sudden edge where it's very abrupt, and then you have a gradual edge shading in the ball. So when you're shading your aliens, you should try and choose more gradual shading so that you can see that this particular sculpture will be round. Okay, now I'm done with my drawing. I have pretty much what I want on there. I changed it from a boy to a girl. One of the things that I want you guys to do is kind of figure out what's sticking out the furthest and what's in the furthest. So as I'm drawing this, I'm adding some gradual shading here because I know that this arm is going to be more round, and then some sudden edge shading where the teeth are, okay, because that's sticking out in front of that, suddenly changing. And on your drawings, you should also include how does it stand up. So I kind of ran out of real estate there and started drawing what its legs are going to look like, okay? Now when you're choosing something like this, you don't particularly want long, thin arms that are kind of dangling out in space, because what's going to happen is that wet clay is going to droop down. So you can kind of imagine it. If you have something that's sticking up really tall, it's just going to kind of droop down because of the wet, moist clay. So try and do something that's more what I would call in the round, and then if you could, give it something that it's going to stand on well. So having feet or some sort of tentacles or base of some sort that it can plop itself onto. Okay? Let me see those pictures by emailing those to me right away, and then we will start sculpting right away. Have a great night.